Hello guys, it's Dale here. In this video I like to talk about take profit placement and how to maximize your profit. And usually what I teach is how to place the ideal take profit using volume profile, using volumes. But recently there was a trade where this wasn't really possible, and on that trade I want to demonstrate how you can use VWAP and price action for finding the ideal place to place your take profit. So let me show you what I'm talking about, alright? What you see before you, it's a video which I published on Monday. I sent you that in an email on Monday, and this is a prediction from the video, and the prediction was on the New Zealand dollar Japanese yen. So I just paused the video here to show you the original prediction, which was this support level at 88.57. Let me now switch over to the chart and see how this trade played out. So this is the chart, the current chart of the New Zealand dollar Japanese yen. This is the heavy volume zone from which I predicted that there would be this reaction. This was the reaction. So it played out nicely, but what I want to talk about in this video is the take profit placement. So my rule number one when placing your take profit is that you should place it at the first barrier or at the first resistance. Because when the price meets first barrier, there is a risk that the price will turn and your winning trade could be ruined. So that's why I say you should quit at the first barrier. Very often, the first barrier, at least in my trading, is volume based. So I search for heavy volume zone and I quit the trade at first heavy volume zone. So with this trade, I entered long from here, and if I use volume profile over this zone where the price was going downwards towards that level, you can see that there really isn't any super significant volume zone, any super significant barrier that would stand in the way. There is this, but it's not too strong. Alright, so placing the take profit using a volume-based barrier is not really an option here. So in cases like this, you need to look for other barriers that stand in the way. In this case, there was a VWAP barrier and also a price action barrier. So let me show you. What I should have mentioned first is that we are looking at 30-minute time frame. And with this time frame, with my intraday trading, I use weekly VWAP. So this is this yellow line, this is weekly VWAP, anchored at the beginning of this week. And very importantly, those gray lines, those are first deviations of this weekly VWAP. All right. So it's important that this is a weekly VWAP. That's my preferred VWAP for my intraday trading. And let me just delete this. When the price is below the first deviation of a VWAP, like in here, this was the first deviation of the VWAP, the price was moving below it, then it tends to work as a resistance. Right? The first deviation of a VWAP, if the price is moving below it, tends to work as a resistance. So in here, the price reacted to that long level, and the first barrier that was in the way was the first deviation of a VWAP. Right here, as you can see, the price reacted 3 times. 1, 2, and finally a sell-off. So that was the ideal place to take your profit. Now there was a combo of 2 trading setups actually. If I print a line here, then you can notice that in the past the price reacted to this level in here and in here. Very strong and sharp reactions. This is telling me that this level worked as a support in the past, and when the price blew past that support, it turned into a resistance. This is a price action setup which I like to use, and it points to the same level where we had that first deviation of a VWAP. See, this was the first deviation of the VWAP, exactly at the same level. So it was actually a combo of two trading setups, VWAP and this price action setup, and both were telling me that in here there was a strong barrier, a resistance. And when you are trading longs from here, you want to quit at the first resistance. You want to quit in here. So this was the first resistance, standing in a way, ideal place to quit your trade. Now, very importantly, you need to take into consideration risk-reward ratio. And you need to think about that when you are taking the trade. So ideal stop loss for this trade, when we were trading from the beginning of this heavy volume zone, was in here. That was the ideal stop loss. Let me print a line here. Now, why I'm saying that this was the ideal stop loss is because the stop loss was behind heavy volume zone, right? This is my rule number one when placing my stop loss orders. It needs to be behind heavy volume zone and also behind this little swing point. All right, so this was the stop loss. So why I'm talking about this is when you trade, ideally you want to have risk-reward ratio bigger than 1. In this case, risk-reward ratio was way bigger than 1. It was actually somewhere around risk-reward ratio 2, which is great. But imagine a scenario where that first barrier would be, for example, in here. In case like this, you have negative risk-reward ratio because you risk more than you can gain from that trade. In such case, you may want to consider not taking that trade because it's not really good trade. All right? So that's also a very important aspect of take profit placement and deciding whether take a trade or no. Now, one more point I want to make is for those who like to trail their take profits. And what I do is I like to look at a price action and how the price was moving towards the trade entry, towards the level. What you can see here is very sharp and strong selling activity hitting that level. So this is telling you that sellers are in control and they are very aggressive. So trailing that trade and trying to take as much as possible from this trade could be a bit risky, especially when you see that the rejection of this support, I mean the reaction of the buyers, was very, very weak. Right? This is very shy and weak reaction of buyers, not sharp at all. So buyers are reacting there, but the reaction is not too strong. If it was strong, then you could think about taking the first half of the trade in here at the first barrier and then trading the second half of the position some more. But because the reaction to that level is very weak and very shy compared to this sharp sell-off, which shows aggressive sellers, then it's best to just quit the whole trade at the first barrier, which was in here. Alright, so I think that this case very nicely demonstrates how to think about placing your take profit. Maybe it looks like it's a bit complicated and that you need to take into consideration too many things, but give it some practice and in some time it will be very natural for you and it will just take you a couple of seconds to analyze the market like this and decide on the ideal place where to take your profit. If you would like to learn more about the volume profile trading, VWAP trading, order flow trading, and if you would like to trade alongside me every day, then I recommend visiting my website. This is it, trader-dale.com. If you click this button right here, it will take you to my courses and to my indicators. Currently, as you can see, I'm running a special sale on my best educational and indicator packs. Right here, this is the Elite pack, which focuses on volume profile trading. And there's a video which you can watch. It will show you everything that you'll get. In chart, you'll get a video course on volume profile trading, my personal day trading and swing trading videos. You'll get that every day. And my custom-made volume profile and VWAP indicators for various trading platforms, including MetaTrader, NinjaTrader, and TradingView platform. Now below that, there is the order flow pack, which is ideal for those who want to day trade using the order flow software. Again, there's a video which will show you everything that's included in this pack. In chart, it's the order flow software, order flow video course, and volume profile indicators. And if you are interested in both, then you can get a special deal in here. It is a combo pack, and it includes the elite pack and the order flow pack as well. Alright, so that's about that. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you next time. And until then, happy trading.